Hi everyone, this is Migs from Six and Ball PH, and today we have a detailed review on the Air Jordan 1 Shadow 2.0. Before we get started, if you do like the video, please make sure to leave a thumbs up down below. Then if you have any comments, questions, or any suggestions for future videos, please feel free to leave them in the comment section down below as well. Then I'll also leave a link to the SNBPH Sneaker Hunters Facebook group in the description box, so I do hope you're able to join us because that is a place where we talk about sneakers and basketball quite a bit, and it's also where I hold my monthly giveaways. Then speaking of giveaways, on Saturday, May 30, it is the anniversary of the YouTube channel, so I will be sharing my entire sneaker collection with all of you, and I also have a giveaway for a brand new pair of shoes in your size. Then if you haven't already, please make sure to sub to the channel because it really does help us out quite a lot. Then with that out of the way, let's take a look at the Air Jordan 1 Shadow 2.0. The Shadow 2.0, as the name indicates, is a revamped version of the OG Shadow, which is one of the OG colorways of the Jordan 1 that came out in 1985, and is also, in my opinion, one of the most wearable Jordan 1 colorways. Jordan brand has been pumping out these 2.0 colorways as of late. I'm not really sure if it was last year or the year before. We had the Pine Green 2.0s and the Court Purple 2.0s, but of course the most popular 2.0 would have to be the Shattered Backboard 2.0s, which actually had a 3.0 version shortly after that. The 2.0 versions of these Jordan 1s are basically the same exact color palette, it's just that they switch up the color blocking. With the Jordan 1 Shadow 2.0, it does differ from the OG because you swapped out the gray parts for the black parts. They also did make another change with the Jordan 1 Shadow 2.0, which we haven't seen from the other 2.0s, and what they changed is the material on the overlays. With the OG Shadow, you just had a pretty much all leather build, but with the Jordan 1 Shadow 2.0, the black parts are this leather, while the overlays are a gray nubuck. This is a pretty interesting change, and like I said, they didn't really do this on any of the other 2.0s like the Shattered Backboards, or the Pine Greens, or the Court Purples. Then to get into more detail about the shoe, let's take a look at the tech specs on the Jordan 1 Shadow 2.0. So starting off with the traction, you have that signature Jordan 1 outsole with that pivot point and radial pattern here at the forefoot, those thick lines here at the heel, and those stars at the toe. I say this on pretty much every Jordan 1 video, but the Jordan 1 definitely has the best traction of all time. It really just has everything you want. I mean, it grips like crazy, it squeaks like crazy as well, and it's also super durable as well since, you know, the shoe came out in the 80s. The traction on the Jordan 1 is just pretty much ready for anything you throw at it. If you're just using these for casual wear, you're really not gonna slip anywhere. And if you are using it to play basketball, which not a lot of people do, I mean, maybe 0.1% of anyone who wears Jordan 1s has actually tried playing in it. But if you were, you would definitely stick to the court like glue, no matter the condition of the court, if it's dirty, if it's clean, if it's well finished, or if it's not. Then for the cushion on the Jordan 1, it does make use of a full-length rubber cupsole with an EVA or polyurethane wedge here at the heel. The cushion on the Jordan 1 is definitely very basic. I mean, you do feel super low to the ground, which is why this is also a popular choice for skaters. But if you did want to boost the comfort on your Jordan 1s, you definitely would have to look for a third-party insole. There are definitely a lot of brands out there. I mean, you could go for the more known brands who, you know, make stuff for basketball or for running. And if you want, you can even find those sort of replica, sort of Zoom or Boost insoles from like eBay or here in the Philippines from Lazada or Shopee. But yeah, like I said, the cushion on the Jordan 1 is definitely very basic and very close to the ground. But you know, if you are used to rocking Nike Blazers or Adidas Superstars, this is definitely pretty comparable to those. Then for the materials, I do have mixed opinions when it comes to the Jordan 1 Shadow 2.0. I mean, with the Shadow 1.0 or the OG Shadow, it did have pretty nice materials in its most recent retro in 2016, so I was kind of expecting similar materials from the Shadow 2.0, but it's not really the case. They did use gray nubuck on the overlays, and that is actually a pretty nice material. I mean, it is pretty soft and premium feeling, and it does that nice thing with suedes and nubucks where, you know, it kind of changes from light to dark when you run your fingers through it. But the disappointing part about the materials is the black leather, because the black leather doesn't really feel up to par, especially when you compare it to the OG Shadows that retroed in 2016, or even if you compare the leather on these to some of the more recent Jordan 1 releases like the Patinas or the Mochas. The Jordan 1 Patina did also make use of a black leather, and that was way nicer than the black leather on this shoe. So I just really wish that, especially with that soft and really premium feeling nubuck, they could have used a a black leather similar to the ones we had on the Jordan 1 patina. Then for the other materials, you do have your standard Jordan 1 things. You have that nylon tongue, a nice and soft textile sock liner, and your standard Jordan 1 flat laces. The materials overall are a little bit hard to judge because that nubuck is nice and soft, but that black leather definitely doesn't feel the most premium, especially when you compare it to other Jordan 1s. That black leather should get better over time though, and the more you wear them, the better it'll be. So even though it's not that soft and premium right out of the box, it should still get better the more that you wear it. Then for fit and sizing, I did go through the size with the Jordan 1 Shadow 2.0, and it fits me through the size just like every other Jordan 1. The overlays are pretty soft and you have some adequate padding, so it's definitely a comfy fit. And whether you tie your Jordan 1s up or you wear them loose like how I do since I have pretty chunky legs, it is gonna fit really nicely. So my recommendation for the sizing is that whether you have a normal width foot, a narrow foot, or a wide foot, go through the size. If you do have a super wide foot though, or if you're someone who wants to put a really chunky insole for additional comfort, you might also want to try going up half a size. However, I do think true to size works best, so that is what I recommend for most people. Then for the aesthetic details, the Jordan 1 Shadow 2.0 does have a pretty simple color palette of gray, black, and white. But that simple color palette that's the same as the OG Shadows just makes it very easy to wear. So on the bottom, the Jordan 1 Shadow 2.0 has an all black solid rubber outsole. And I do like how it is all black because it won't really show that it's dingy or dirty or that it's too worn. Because you know it is black, so if you're comparing it to some of the other ones that have like blue or red or white outsoles, it's definitely gonna be the one that looks most pristine over time. Of course, on the outsole as well, you have that signature Jordan 1 traction pattern, and on the middle you have Nike branding. Then moving on to the midsole, the rubber cup sole is all white, and I really do like the fact that they put that white on the midsole because it really just provides a little bit of balance to the grays and blacks. Then moving on to the upper, all of those nubuck panels are this light gray, and the gray on these nubuck panels on the Shadow 2.0 are actually a little bit lighter than the OG Shadows, and I am still pretty undecided whether that's a good thing or a bad thing, so please do comment down in the comment section down below whether you like the lighter gray they used on the Shadow 2.0 or the darker gray on the OG Shadows. That light gray nubuck is on that heel cup, that ankle wing, the Nike swoosh, your piping around the eyelets, and of course your forefoot overlays. Then for the rest of the shoe, it is all black. You have black on the leather at the collar, the midfoot panel, and the forefoot. You have black laces, a black tongue, as well as a black sock liner. These do also come with light gray laces, but I just really think it looks much better with the black, since in my opinion, I think there is already a lot of gray on the overlays. Then for the bits of branding on the shoe, of course, you have those light gray Nike swooshes on the lateral and medial side. You have your Nike Air on the nylon tongue tab. And for my all-time favorite detail on every Jordan 1, you have the Wings logo on the lateral side. The Air Jordan Wings logo, in my opinion, just looks so clean, and you know, it is this black over this gray piece, so I think it really pops out in this shoe. Then for the overall aesthetics, I wasn't really eyeing this shoe when it was first leaked, but as I continued to see them online and when some on-foot pictures already surfaced as well as some early reviews, I did kind of grow to like it, which is a little bit strange because I don't really like a lot of black shoes. I mean, the only black Jordans that I wear personally are the Jordan 3 Black Cements as well as the 11 Reds. But I guess what really sold me on the Jordan 1 Shadow 2.0 is just that, just like the OG Shadow, it is a super wearable shoe. So you can really kind of throw on any color of clothes and you'll be pretty good to go. However, even though I like the shoe quite a bit now, it's still not the Shadow 1.0, and I would definitely take the OG Shadows over this one. The OG Shadow just looks a little bit more classic in my opinion, and even though the nubuck on this shoe is nice, I think I still would have preferred an all leather build like the OG Shadow, and I also like the colorway of the OGs compared to the 2.0. Then for the price, the Jordan 1 Shadow 2.0 retails for 8,095 pesos here in the Philippines or $170 US. It does have that standard Jordan 1 OG high price tag, and though this did pretty much sell out like every other Jordan 1 that's released over the past couple of years, I am happy to say that the resale price on these isn't too high. The last time I checked, there were a few people selling this for like 1,000 pesos or $20 above retail, which means I guess they weren't too hyped up about the shoe, so it doesn't have that mocha hype or that university blue hype, which is definitely not a bad thing if you took an L on these and you like this colorway. If you aren't able to find one in your size that is pretty close to retail, I would suggest that you wait a bit, because I really don't think that the resale prices or the hype on this shoe will grow over time, at least not in this year. I was able to get my pair over at Titan On Demand through a raffle. I do have a pretty okay success rate for Titan raffles, especially when it comes to like Jordan 1s or the Kobe's. So if you want to get a pair of Jordan 1s, I would highly advise you not to go on sneakers because it is just super hard. Instead, I think you have a much higher chance if you just join raffles through your local retailers. So there you have it, guys. That was my detailed review on the Air Jordan 1 Shadow 2.0. Then once again, if you haven't already yet, please make sure to subscribe to the channel and click that bell icon for notifications. It would help us out a lot here at Sneaks and Ball PH.